Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Delicia Cigar Vixen channel. It's been a little bit since I've made a review, in case you were wondering why. I came back from Nicaragua and caught a little bug, I think, in the airport, so I was down for about a week and a half, but now luckily things are good. My taste buds are back, and so I'm very excited to light up a tasty cigar today. Now, this is a cigar that came out last year. I believe it was shipped out towards October or so, but it was first released and talked about during IPCPR. And this is the Macanudo. This is the Estate Reserve Jamaica. So those of you that follow the Macanudos over time will appreciate that this is the first time in 15 years that the Macanudo has incorporated the Jamaican tobacco back into their blend. Their factory that was in Jamaica shut down, I believe, around 2000 or so. And so since then, their cigars are being made, in the Dominican Republic. In fact, I had a chance during Pro Cigar a few years ago to visit their factory and check out their rolling room and even take a shot at putting some cigars together myself, which of course I learned I was much better at smoking them than constructing them, but hey, to each his own, right? Anyways, let's talk a little bit about this cigar. And so the wrapper on this guy has a 10-year-old Connecticut broadleaf. You can tell from this nice coloring here. It's very dark. There's a little bit of an oil sheen, but not very much. It's just that traditional kind of a dark color. You don't see even a lot of veins in it. It's pretty smooth, in fact, but nice looking on the color. And the binder is a Mexican San Andres, and the filler is consisting of that Jamaican tobacco that again is proprietary to General Cigar. And it's grown on a small farm, again in Jamaica, that's made especially for this project. So excited to light it up and see what the flavors are like. Now this again is a limited release. So what that means is that they've made 1,800 boxes of 10 in every size. So there's 3 different sizes. Today I'm going to be smoking the 5x50. It also comes in a 6x57 and a 7x50. So chances are you might be able to still find some of these floating around your local brick and mortar. So you should definitely check it out to see. I always recommend that, although I do appreciate that a lot of you take my opinion on the different cigar flavors, that you always try it out for yourself, because again, the different flavors, they're subjective, and you might like something that I might not care for, or vice versa and whatnot. So you should always test out your cigars yourself. Take some advice, but then also give them a shot. So on that pre-lit draw, you get a little bit of an earthiness, but you also get a hint of something sweet. Almost like a candy-like sweetness versus like a chocolatey cocoa, not that type of sweet, more candy-like, I guess is the best way to describe it. So let's go ahead and get this little guy lit up. Now again, taking advantage of being indoors, I'm going to use my trusty cedar spill, because best compliment to any cigar is lighting it with a piece of cedar, and it's a lot of fun when you can personalize them yourself and get these little cedar spills. But also because butane is great, butane lighters are wonderful, but they're a lot hotter than your average soft flame. So whenever you can, I suggest that you do use a soft flame, just so that it doesn't overheat your cigar or char it too much. So you just want to get a nice even burn. Wow, right away there's a warm earthiness you get with the cigar, but I get a lot of toasty notes, which I didn't get on that pre-lit draw. It's toasty. There's a hint of cocoa, but there's also a little bit of a kind of a subtle coffee flavor, which of course I always enjoy that. Very good start. Great draw. I used that V cutter. I forgot to talk about that. I did use a V cut on this one. Again, no rhyme or reason, just preference at the moment. And it's smoking with a nice draw and a very beautiful aroma. This is one of those times when I wish you guys were here so you could smell this aroma. It has a nice cedar. There's a little element of sweet into that. But again, very inviting. I always mention that word in the reviews. You want a cigar that has an inviting aroma versus one that has a pungent type of a smell. This definitely has that inviting, warm, you know, come light up a cigar with me type of an aroma. So very good for that. Nice smoke output as well. And I'm just enjoying this experience, probably even more so because I haven't smoked in about a week and a half, because again, like as I mentioned, I was under the weather. So this is just a very nice treat. There's a lot of flavor already developing. You can feel a little bit of a hint of pepper kind of just lingering on the tongue a little bit. Not enough to really make a lot of noise, just a hint of it. So, as always, I'm going to smoke it down a little bit more and check back in with you for the second third. So back for the second third. Flavor-wise, it's interesting. The smoke itself seems to be very creamy, but there's a lot of different flavors. I'm getting notes of dried cherry, little hints of kind of a citrus, more of like the lemon, rind versus like an orange. It's more a little more of a zing to it. But there's also a mixture of an earthy, kind of almost mineral-like flavoring to it. It's not very strong, but you can taste it in there. In fact, I think you could even confuse it with a little bit of harshness. It's not necessarily harsh, there's just a different type of a flavor. But it's subtle, it's not like it really stands out. You just pick up, you know, subtle notes of it. However, in the background, you're still getting a nice mixture of kind of a salt and pepper. So this is definitely a cigar that you want to have something handy to drink with, because that salty element makes you thirsty. It makes more saliva, you could say. So it is a nice thing that you could grab, you know, grab some Jamaican rum or grab, you know, even just a water, something just to complement your palate and kind of keep that, the salivation down a little bit. So that's one thing that I noticed. Another thing I'll say is, I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about Jamaican variety tobacco. So far, I've noticed that it seems to smoke a little bit faster. That maybe it's just, you know, me noticing that, but I'm not smoking it at any different pace than I normally do. And it just seems to, the inside, that filler just seems to kind of, you know, smoke faster than, you know, some of the other blends that I've tried. So that's one thing to note, but overall it seems to be smoking very well. It has a beautiful ash. The ash doesn't seem to hold on quite as long as, again, some of the other blends, but it still has a very nice color to the ash. You can see, you know, the mixture. It definitely is long, you know, long filler tobacco and everything. So it is smoking very nicely. And again, those flavors are just kind of mixing in with each other. But I'm curious to get down to the last third to see if there's any surprises in store. So stick with me for the last third. I'll be back shortly. So back for the last third. Flavors at this point, there's a little bit more cocoa. However, it's kind of shifted places with the black pepper. And so the black pepper is a little bit more pronounced, and that cocoa is it's still there, but it's more in the background on the flavoring. As well as a little bit more of the cedar. The cedars kind of come out. It hasn't really been very pronounced throughout the first and second third, but this last third, I am getting a little bit more of those cedar notes. So overall, it's been a nice transitional cigar. You're getting different flavors, throughout just about every third. So it kind of keeps you, for lack of a better word, it keeps you from getting bored with your cigar. It kind of has those nice transitions in it. As far as the way that it's smoked, it was beautiful. I haven't had to touch it up at all, which is always something that I enjoy. I hate having to touch up the cigars or relight them. Again, it makes them harsh, it makes them overheat. So this one was doing very well. It just smoked beautifully all the way throughout. Nice burn line again throughout the entire stick, and a nice draw, good smoke output. Again, that aroma was just beautifully throughout the entire cigar. So very good for that. And as I mentioned, they are a limited production, so just in case you're not able to find them, I am doing a fun little, I don't even know if you'd call it a promotion or a contest, but what I'm doing is I have a couple of these little babies that are in my humidor, and some cedar spills, of course. And I'm going to be choosing a random, winner for anyone who leaves a comment on this video on cigarvixen.com, not on YouTube. So jump onto the website, leave your comments, and hopefully you'll get selected, and add a couple extra sticks to your humidor and you can try it out. So as always, I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Cheers.